Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Meet the 818's Zoom interviews. Today, we have Mr. Patrick Ballesteros, artist extraordinaire, veteran of many Comic-Cons, and creator and owner of Patrick Ballesteros Art. Welcome.
Thank you, creator owner.
Awesome,
That sounds like
awesome.
it's like a big business. No, it's just me and my wife here in Comic-Con. She helps pack. That's about it.
Right. Well, by way of connection to the 818, so you and I actually met before at the Perky Nerd,
Mhm.
probably 3-4 years back.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been around there or done much there, just with all the fun stuff happening last year, I guess.
Yeah. No, I got you. So Perky Nerd, you had an art show,
Mhm.
and I actually am a proud owner of one of his pieces.
Ah, that's an exclusive one too. Everyone was after that one. So you got one of
Right?
the few canvases of that. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's funny because my husband, it was actually for my birthday. So
Oh, well, that's points.
he was like, just buy it. I was like, wait, I don't know. And he goes, no, it's unique and you need to buy it. I'm like, okay. So
I
there you
like your
go.
husband already. That's a very good husband.
Oh yeah, no, he's a great guy. He knew what I wanted. So it's like, okay.
See? Give me food and good art, I'm happy. That's what I
Exactly,
need in my life. Let's
exactly.
go.
Yeah. And then from then on, the collection just kind of seemed to grow.
Keep
So,
growing. It looks like you have some space still there, so we can squeeze a couple more pieces. You're
oh
good.
yeah, hold on.
You're
Wait,
good.
I have to find space for this.
Ah, yes. I see it's framed too. You were prepared. I love it.
Right, right. So that's just a bit of what he does and samples of his art. So Patrick, how did you start your journey on this art style or just in art in general?
I think it goes back to the womb when I'm just kidding. Sorry. I just had to start there. Um, the what people know me for now.
Mhm.
Sorry, couldn't get that word out. I think that started to develop at one of the first art shows I did back when I used to live in LA. It was around mid 2000s, like 2008 or 9, I believe.
Oh
My
wow.
friend, he was a hairstylist at a salon in Santa Monica.
Mhm.
And it was one of those salons, everyone was kind of young and hip and like up and coming. And like, hey, you should do an art show. I'm like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. And then he tells me, oh, yeah, I put you in the books for an art show. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. I'm like, no. Yeah. I'm like, all right. So it was set. There was an art
Mhm.
show. There was a date. I had to make work. There was no choice. You can't say no. You can't say, oh, well, maybe. Like, no, that it was set. Flyers were made.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. All right. And so I think that was the kick in the butt that I needed. And I just started just drawing all these sorts of things. And I don't even have them on my website anymore. I should probably put some back up, but just different characters
Mhm.
using different techniques, photos, illustration, still illustration based, but so many different things I was throwing out there that you wouldn't see me do now.
Right.
But it was a whole lot of fun because there were no stakes in a sense. Like if no one bought it, I didn't care. It was just fun to make. But out of that show came the style of doing these stylizations with these kids. And
Mhm.
the one particular piece, I forget what I called it, but it was basically a kid that I used to do a lot of before, but it was a kid in like a lucha libre mask in a kitchen, and it was kind of like darkly lit, almost looked like it was out of Seven, the movie,
Yeah.
uh, but just little kids. And then on the counter was this bear making a cappuccino, and the coffee just exploded all over the place. And you see their faces. The bear is just like, ugh. And the kid's like, holy. And I was like, oh, this is so much fun. And I kept doing kind of like in that style, the little kid and a bear. And for some reason, for about a year, I would always put like a little kid and a bear together in different scenes at a grocery store. And where the 25-cent wonders came from was that I did a big scene. It was called Captain Manchego. And it was two kids, a girl and a little boy, outside of like a darkly lit, like 7-Eleven type store on those rides. And that was kind of the start of it. And that's
Mhm.
where part of the 25 centers was born. I think the initial idea, but that came to fruition a little bit later. So anyway, from that gallery show, I would do other things, but I came back and revisited those little kids acting out to be superheroes and stuff. And a Halloween piece I did called Kids Night Out. This
Nice.
is before, I think Iron Man had just come out, no Avengers just yet. So
Yeah.
I put a row of like the classic Avengers, like kids dressing up like them. Like the kid dressing up as Thor was a girl with a hammer. Hulk was a very hefty kid painting himself green. I put Power Man, Iron Fist, Cyclops, Professor X as a little baby in a stroller.
Hmm.
And a lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, you had like a lot of the Avengers in it. Did you know?" I'm like, "No, I didn't." You think I'm like, "Hey, Kevin, Feige, Paige, what you doing? What are we doing now?" I wish that'd be awesome.
Right.
And so I just kind of kept rolling with that, and I wasn't like looking at anyone in particular. I was really just drawing on a lot of inspiration from the comic strips that I grew up with. Of course, Calvin and Hobbes. You probably
Yes.
feel a little bit of that in there. And then a lot of Arthur Rackham with the watercolors and the old school style. And then just, I think the one artist that I draw a lot of inspiration from is Jeff Darrow. He does like a lot of like really action oriented, sometimes super graphic, super gory stuff.
Yeah.
Now you don't see that in my work, but what I took from that is putting levels of detail.
Hmm.
So my whole thing is when you look at my artwork, you don't get it all in one breath. You come back and each time you find something new or there's something deeper in the story. You're like, wow, did you really put that in there on purpose? Like, yes, I did. For the fans that appreciate it, I did. And so that's kind of where it evolved from, and it just kept growing from there, just trying to figure out different ways to tell these different stories.
Got it.
Sorry,
Got it.
that was pretty long. Hi.
No, it's perfect. You knocked out one, two, yeah, you knocked out like 3 questions.
Yeah, sorry. Just like, this is supposed to be at least 15 minutes. This has already been 2 minutes. Come on. I'm just kidding.
No, it's fine. So I got stumped. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Patrick.
Do I win something? Is it like Jeopardy if you stump the host or something? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You get 12 dozen chocolate chip cookies delivered to your house.
If they have ube in it, deal. Deal.
I know people, so you know.
Yes, I know you know people. Make it happen. I'm all for it.
Oh man. So let's see. Developed art style. Do you have a name for it? Never mind.
Well,
So
a name for the art style, I don't think there really is a name. And I won't say that, oh, I'm the only one that's done that. There are a lot of
yeah.
artists that did that, but it wasn't like I was actively looking for it or trying to look at other artists. Oh, how do they do it? Or how do they do it?
Yeah.
I was mainly just trying to tell a story how I could, or trying to find my way of telling that story. Because I mean, there's so many artists out there that, you know, draw superheroes and things as
Yeah.
kids and stuff. And I feel like there's more and more nowadays. And people will call it Ghibli. I didn't even think like, oh, I love your Ghibli characters. My characters are Ghibli? They are? Really? Is that what it means? I thought that just means big head, small body.
Right?
I mean, some of my characters are like that, but in my head, I'm just like, no, these are more, they're little kids acting these things out. They're little kid versions of them doing these random or mischievous things like how my son would do it.
Right.
But people can call it what they want to call it. I don't want to tell them that they can't see it that way, because I think that's the beautiful part about your artwork is you don't want it to be like it has to be this or that. You do want it to be a bit more open, because that little level of interpretation gives part of that ownership to your viewer, so that it makes them want to invest more time and find out more, not just about the art, but about you and why you're doing it. And I think that's the fun interactive part, even though I don't like interact all the time with people, at least through my artwork, I can. And I think that's totally fun.
Absolutely. And it totally shows. Like I'm a fan because just, you know, just seeing the 80s picture alone, or the 80s canvas, like,
oh yeah, my goodness.
Even now I
80s.
look at it and I'm like, oh, how did I miss that? Or, oh, I missed that character, you know, and it's been what, 4 or 5 years from purchase. And I see that in all your artwork. It's just the sense of like nostalgia and just storytelling, like just layers upon layers. And, you know, and it's awesome, you know.
Thank you. No, thank you. I mean, when people see those, and I mean, not everyone does that. Not everyone looks at the layers, which is totally fine. But I know if I put it in there and someone does spot that, it's like, yo, we're both a fan of this. You got it,
Right.
I got it. That's cool. And there's that connection. And you're not going to reach everyone. Not everyone's going to be happy, even though being Filipino and being a people pleaser, I want everyone to like my art and stuff. I know it's not going to happen. That's just the ego part of me, like, no, everyone has to like it. Everyone has to like it.
That's,
But if I get the people that really appreciate it, like we talked about those
mhm.
fans, then I'm doing my job, and they will share it to the other fans that are appreciative of it. And that's how I think you get that organic reach. I don't like using keywords, but I'll use that one. Organic reach to
Organic.
others without forcing it. And when I say organic reach, it sounds like, oh, is it like oat? No, it's not oat. No, come on. Anyway.
No, and it's funny because I think you know, I was telling my friends about your art when you first started, like when I saw you at the Perky Nerd. And you know, people were like, yeah, no, blah, blah, blah. But I think a couple years after that, you went to a Comic-Con and there was like this huge line and it just surprised you. Like your art just blew up. So much so that after that Comic-Con, a couple of my friends like, have you heard about this guy, Patrick? He's amazing.
Really?
I was like, really? I've been telling you this like the past couple years. So that response, did it surprise you, or like how was that?
Yeah. I had no idea that was going to happen. That was just like, hey, okay, hold on one second. Go down. Come back up. Oh, well, hold on, just 1 second. Go back down. Come up. Go to my, hey, we got a line. What are you talking about? A line for what? She looks up. She's like, oh, damn. Where'd that come from? Like, I don't know where that came from. It just... So yes, we were not prepared. And that was the first year that happened. And it was just me and my wife. And we were just like, okay, let's get through this. And it was shell shock. It literally was like, what do we do? How do we control this? And that was the first year. I think when I saw someone come up with like a line caps here, I was like to my wife, Kay, we made it. We got the cap side line. Yes. And I went, hold on. And I ran and I took a picture, told everyone, wait, just 1 second. I got to take a picture of this before he leaves. Took a picture, ran back to the front. It's so weird. When you see that line is cap person, you're like, it's like a moment. You're like,
Right?
I can go in peace. This is beautiful. But yeah, did not expect any of that. So when they came up to us and say, hey, do you need help with stuff? Like actually Artist Alley volunteers.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, oh, this is real. Okay, we got to, this is cool. Don't know what to do, but yeah, let's just go with it.
Yeah, that was awesome. I think that was the year you came out with like the Filipino series, the Captain Ano Ba Yan, or was that after? I wasn't quite sure.
After. I think the line stuff started happening maybe probably 2016 or 2015. Because I remember like Trump was coming in and stuff. Like it seems so long ago, but yeah, I think it was around that time. One of the good things around that time anyway. I'm not getting political. I'm just saying it was one of the good things at the time that I remember. That's all. Just say, hey, we're not saying anything, okay?
No worries.
Yeah, and after that, it just kind of started growing. And where the last year, the last con that we had in person, that's where it was like the craziest. And yeah, a lot of that is due to people spreading the word, and also people on the unofficial San Diego Comic-Con blog being supporters for me for so many years. I think it's a lot of it is attributed to what they do for me and how they just spread the word around without me even asking. It's just like, wow, thank you. And that's what's really cool, is that even though with all these big studios, all these movies, and how Comic-Con, it has changed. It's changed a lot over the past few years.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They help you still navigate around it, even if you're an oldie or a newbie. They still help you navigate so you enjoy the experience, whether it be comics, movies, or whatever. And so I think that's one of the best resources to look at if you're totally new and you don't know what a Comic-Con is.
Right. Oh, that's so weird not knowing what a Comic-Con was.
I
Or
think,
is.
yeah, there are those people that will go up to me and family that will be like, hey, so can you get me a couple tickets for that? That's tomorrow, right? I'm like, yo, it's not like will call. You know who you have to kill to get a ticket? It's like, dude, wow.
Right.
But there are some people that really don't know. They're like, oh, I know it's crowded and all that, but can you get me in? You're like,
No.
it's like, that's like, you know how much that ticket is if you try to get in? Like you go on eBay or whatever, it's like $500 minimum or something. It's like, dang.
Yeah, no, it got really pricey after a while. And actually, it's funny because I think the last time I went, I actually had a press pass because I was covering it as a freelancer. So yeah, that was the last time. I think that was, I don't remember what year, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I still remember where it was just like a regular printout badge and you buy it. You could buy it that day or the day before.
Yeah.
Long time ago. It's just like, wow, that's not even a reality anymore.
Right, right. So how was it for you last year having to switch Comic-Con into an online format? Like, was that challenging, or did they have a cap line as, when you were, I just can't imagine like having one live thing and then all of a sudden switching formats.
Well, I think I was lucky, or not just lucky, but I already had like an online store and an online site. So I was already doing, shipping stuff out, just not like mass quantity or not large orders or anything like that. So I already had a system. And I think I was lucky in that aspect that I wasn't like fully prepared to go online, but I had a structure, an infrastructure, so that I could pretty much just move things around and adjust what I'm doing to more of an online thing. And so unlike other artists who just rely solely on conventions and don't do anything else, I had a little bit easier of a time. The hardest part was just not freaking out, because it's like, what are people doing? Are they going to still buy art? Is that still feasible? Is that still something you want to, spend money on? So I didn't know, because people were freaking out. It was like they were spending their money on toilet paper. Like, are they going to buy my art print, wipe their butt with it? I don't know. That's an expensive toilet paper piece.
That's a waste of a toilet paper, man.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
Come on. But yeah, no, but based on your recent pop show live, or is it pop show? Pop-up show?
Pop shop.
Pop shop. I am so sorry.
Pop
Pop shop live.
I don't own it. It's cool. Yeah, they're pop shop. Pop shop live. There we go.
Yeah, it was so funny. I mean, for people who don't know how the pop shop works, you pretty much, Patrick's online, he's selling his art, and it's kind of like an auction thing where you have, you press like the little lightning bolts,
yes,
to purchase like whatever. So it was kind of crazy, like being in that pop shop live and seeing all these lightning bolts as soon as you put like art, boom, 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 boom. It was like crazy.
Yeah, I think the first time or around DesignerCon, especially if there was like exclusives or new prints, that's when it did feel a little bit like Comic-Con, a little overwhelming, when I couldn't even see what I was putting up on the shop anymore, because my screen was just covered with people buying and then lightning bolts and stuff like that. I'm like, I have no idea what to press anymore. This is just ridiculous. So I was just like, all right, just go ahead. I'll put the next thing up in a little bit. So yeah, it was the closest thing, I think. Now I couldn't talk to people, but they were chatting, and it's still draining, but I think it's a little bit more draining because it's just me.
Yeah.
And I really have to create some type of interaction with someone on the screen that I can't see. And I just see their chat. So it's super hard. And that's why it's cool when my wife is able to, and she's next to me, because at least I can have a banter with her, and we could talk, and she'll do stuff, she'll make fun of me, I'll be like, really, and go back and forth and things like that. But it's someone else there that I could feed off of.
Right.
So that I think that's the thing that helps. Like right now, like if you had no video, you're just talking, I'd be like, okay, I'll try to be active, but it's a little weird. Okay, right on back there.
Right, right. No,
But
this
yeah,
being
yeah,
the faithful
I feed off that energy, and so especially when I am at the con physically, I have a lot of energy because I feel everyone around me excited. So
right.
that fuels me, and hopefully I give that off, and it kind of keeps going and this like feeding one another in this circular fashion.
Oh, that's really awesome. Yeah, no, it's funny just like for the like just having you here. It's like it's so weird because I've seen you in person. So seeing you in a video, it's like so different. But what can you do?
Yeah, I'm so used to it now. It's just like, okay, hey, it's like now when I'm in real life, I'll be like, oh come, I can't mute. Oh, it's real life. I can't. There's no mute button. My bad. It's like when you use like Control Z or Command Z so much,
Yeah.
and then you start drawing, you actually say it in your head. Oh, let me Control Z. Oh no, this is pen. That's done. I can't Command Z that. Control Z. I think the same thing's happening to people. They're like, oh wait, no, I can't black my screen. You can still see me. Hold on. No. Okay, yes, this is real life. We can't mute. I can't
It's
turn
like
off my video.
I can touch you. Wait,
Yeah,
no, you're real.
yeah.
So as an artist, and having found your niche and all that, what are the challenges, or what do you find, or what is the challenge of staying relevant as far as with your artwork, and just the interaction with people and all that?
I think the hardest part is introducing things that you're not known for, like bringing in different types of artworks or art styles that people aren't aware you can do. And I think as creatively, you want to do those things because it satisfies your creative soul. Now, uh, I love so many different fandoms and things like that, and I will continue to do those because I seriously still find joy in them. But I know there are times where the fatigue even in that can set in, even for viewers. So that's where I am mindful of that. I am mindful of things that are trending, things that people are really interested in, so that it stays relevant with the artwork I produce.
Mhm.
But I think the other part of me is still finding that balance of like, and finding that sense of, no, it's okay to do this. Like, not a lot of people like it or not a lot of people bought it, but I'm still going to do it because there's some voice in me saying that I want to do this character, I want to do this scene. And my wife reminds me of that all the time. It's like, yeah, I know you're a little disappointed that that series didn't do well, but you should still keep doing it. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, whatever. But I know she's right. And I think that is the balance. That's the trade-off, is just kind of finding and still doing things that you want to do, but also doing things that are going to do well in a
Mhm.
convention type setting, because it's very fickle.
Right,
Convention
right.
folks, like, they're very particular about things, and they're like, oh no, you don't, I don't get this. Oh, I don't understand what that is. I'm like, why are you drawing that? And so, I mean, that's where it's pretty much diversifying your body of work, but it's still you in each of them. And so that's what I'm trying to do more of. If I'm successful, I don't think I'm fully successful yet, but I'm starting to dabble a bit more in other things and other storytelling things and comics and stuff.
Mhm.
So it's just pretty much having the courage and saying, no, it's okay to do this. Like, I know I can always do the stuff that I'm known for, that people like, but I don't want to just do that and be known as only that. I want to
Right,
be like,
right.
oh, not the person that, oh, he does all of these stuff, but oh no, that awesome illustrator that can pretty much do all these different things.
Right.
So I think it's coming to peace with that and just trying to figure out how to do more of that. That's the roadblock for me, I guess, right now.
Got it. Got
I
it.
don't even know if I answered your question. I think it
No,
was relevancy, so I don't know. I think that's
no, that's perfect. That's perfect. You answered it perfectly. I was like, oh my gosh, he's pushing the boundaries. He's trying to be like a more versatile and better artist. That's great.
trying to, yeah. I mean, I really want to, try different things, different color palettes,
Yeah.
and it's just finding the time to do it. And yeah,
Yeah,
blah blah
no.
blah 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 blah.
Right. But in all, on a serious note, that's really admirable because, you don't,
Thank you.
I mean, some people just kind of stay in their comfort zone and just go with what works for everyone, but pushing your boundaries and going for something different, it's all, and just keeping everything fresh and exciting, in any industry is you know.
Yeah, I think what helps me actually keeps reminding me of that is being a teacher, because
Mhm.
I see all these young artists trying different things and doing different things, and how they talk to one another. And it's like that excitement when you first started your artistic journey. And I think that's the fun part about sketching. Even right before we came on, I was sketching with a few students,
Mhm.
and we were just doing like a word prompt. They did cheese, sock, and truck. And I was like, cheese, sock, and truck, how are we supposed to do this? So I have it right here. We just drew it, and then
Oh,
cheese
nice.
truck with a bunch of sock zombies. I don't know. So that's kind of what I ended up with. But
That
would I
has
draw that normally? Probably not. But that's the thing that's fun when you're just kind of sketching, and that's why I like sketching with some of my students, is that there's no inhibitions. It's just like, let's draw, let's just have fun, and it's just getting me back into actually sketching for myself,
right.
and not like, oh, I have to make this into something, make it into a product.
Yeah. It has a very Mad Max feel to it, by the way.
Oh yeah, everything I draw has a Mad Max feel to it when I put vehicles in it. It's like Mad Max of cheese. So, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Oh man. What has actually, I don't know if you've been asked this before, but out of everything that you've ever drawn, what's your favorite?
It's hard. That's a really hard question. I would say probably the princess. As of recently, that the first thing came, the Princess Bride map that I did.
That was so awesome. I have
That
it.
was just fun. That was just fun. And
Hold on.
look at you, got it all framed, ready to go. Nice.
You can't see it. The glass is just so reflective. So, but
But I
yeah,
appreciate
no,
that you took care of it. You framed it as well.
I did. Of course. I mean, what you have to.
So yeah, I think that one, just because I was doing something different.
Mhm.
Like I know if you Google it, you'll find like an actual like legit like Princess Bride map that's like
Yeah.
legitly done. But that one is something that I had my students do, and I was like, oh, let me try this project. If I gave it to them, I should do it.
Right.
And it felt unique and different, something
Mhm.
that I hadn't done before, and that's where I got excited again. And so I think that's what I'm slowly trying to do. And I'm doing a new set of 25-cent wonders. Like one of them was the Super Smashers that I released or that I previewed, where I'm changing the angles and I'm really
Right.
trying to give a little bit more to it, a little bit more dynamicism. And so I'm getting fresh again with those. Like I'm getting more energy doing those again,
Mhm.
because I'm trying to push like how I can get the story out and the angles, and just, really playing around. And so I think when I do things like that, that's when I get that excitement again. And for SDCC, I'm still working it out, but I'm trying to do a big map of the actual Comic Con with my little
Oh,
twists on
wow.
it. So same as what you have there, but it's instead of portrait, it's going to be landscape.
Landscape. Oh my
Yeah, and so
gosh.
I'm plotting out little islands and stuff like that to represent different Comic Con pieces, and so that's the part that's taking me longest to figure out. But yeah,
Oh,
hopefully I'm hoping to get it done as an exclusive.
oh my gosh, that's gonna be so intricate. Like just in my head, the floor plan popped up.
Yeah, I was looking at the
I was
floor
like,
plan, like,
whoa.
no, I can't do this. I'll get little pieces of it so you know kind of where you are in there.
Yeah.
But I'm planning to have like the gas lamp sign and the trolley tracks, the stairs, the iconic pieces that you have to go through if you're at Comic Con.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Are you gonna put like a little tricycle guy with the bikes?
Of course, of course. Oh yeah.
And try to pile like 6 people in just oh man.
Yeah, I'm trying to set it up right now. Like each little section will have like different pop culture characters kind of representing it. So
Oh
it's
wow.
going to be a lot. I think this is going to be probably the most characters I've ever drawn in a piece. So that's why I'm slowly approaching it, because it's kind of daunting for me. Like, ooh, okay, let's try this.
Yeah. Well, can't wait to see that.
Neither can I. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, no. Um, so the quarantine pieces, when
Mhm.
we start, that was I mean, for me, when I saw it, like when I saw it on your website, it was kind of like comforting just to see like you're trying to connect to people
Yeah.
still with your drawings. What was your inspiration for that? Were you just like bored and said, you know what, let me just, or was there a basis for it apart from the quarantine?
Mostly it was revolving around the quarantine, and I wanted to do something um, almost as like a time capsule, so that when I look at the print, I remember where we were and what was happening, so that I won't forget it. Not like all the sadness and stuff, but it's an important part of history. Like,
Right.
I mean, you don't want to think about it as a pandemic as, oh, it's a great moment in time. It wasn't a great moment in time, but it's very historical. And to say that, yeah, we survived a pandemic. Not a lot of people, not a lot of generations can say that. It's
Right.
amazing. And we're still in it. There's still a lot of things that need to happen, but fortunately for us in the US, we're lucky. We have all these things rolling out. We have these precautions. And so for me, creating the quarantine series was part of it. I was just like, this is depressing. I need to make something. Part of it was for me. And then the other part of it was I was just playing around with stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'm just going to make it. The first one that I did was Airdrop, the one with Carl.
Yeah.
And I think I did that first one because that's how we were. When we saw Lolo, Grandma, Grandpa, it'd be like, hey, all of us have masks.
Right.
So
Right.
what I was doing was more chronicling things that we were doing in our daily life with these characters and just putting it down. So that when I look at all these pieces, when I look at the ice cream truck, that was us getting ice cream the other day, wearing masks, going to the ice cream truck because like, oh my God, the ice cream guy came in our neighborhood. Let's go. And hanging out, drawing on the window. Again, that's something me and my son were doing. And so I was like, oh, that'd be a cool quarantine piece. So all of those pieces really have a little bit of what me and my family were going through. And so a lot of it is just that this is kind of like a little timeline of what we did and where we were at. Geez, when you think about it, it was a year ago.
Yep. It's crazy. I was like, I look back, I was like, what? It's already.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think when I started posting them, I wasn't sure what people were going to think. Like my main thing was, and I was talking to my wife, I don't want people to feel sad. I want them to be happy when they see this. Maybe a little bit of sadness will come in, but I want them just to go, oh yeah, we're going through it, but okay, we're going to be okay. And when I posted it and I got the responses, I was like, okay, all right, people are getting that. People are resonating with that part that I wanted them to feel. Not the sadness, but like, we're going to be good. We're going to get through it. And, this is all the stuff we're all going through, but there are still some moments of joy, even through all this craziness. And that's the main thing about the quarantine series is it's just like giving you that little piece of time wherever you're at, that moment to just go, oh, okay, I can actually enjoy something. It's okay to enjoy something.
Right.
And so if that's what it did for a few people or for whoever bought it, then, I did my job and they did their job and I'm happy.
Exactly. Actually, my favorite piece of that quarantine series of yours was the Tafiti one with Lilo, Stitch, Maui. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was fun.
Cool. Yeah, no, it was fun because we were actually trying to get shaved ice in the valley. So we're like, oh, that's so cool. So it kind of just, triggered in my head. It's like, you know what? I want this one because it's very Hawaiian, very laid back. And, it seemed normal just to get shaved ice, but with a mask on.
Yeah. Plus I was like, man, if they did shaved ice, like delivery, whew,
right?
I don't know how you do it, but you'd make a killing. That's cool. Do it.
The logistics of that is a little tricky.
Well, I mean, if they could do ice cream truck, I'm sure they could pull that off. It's just I don't know. They could do it. They could do anything. Dry ice.
That's true. That's true. All right. Are there any projects or collaborations that you have in the future that you can discuss, or, like where do you think you're going to be in like a year from now? I know that's such an odd question being in a pandemic where we're just like moment to moment, but where do you feel your art's going to be a year from now?
Well, I want to do a little comic, not like a big one, but a short little one, because I've been developing these characters that I've been wanting to put into something. And I don't think they would fit for a children's book, which is stuff that I've done before. I think just like an actual comic graphic novel, because there's like action elements, a little bit more mature things that I want to put in there. So I'm hoping by next year to do even like a short story of that for if we come back in person, hopefully, yeah, for next Comic-Con to have that. The other thing coming up, I'm not sure if I'm going to have it ready for SDCC virtual, or it might be at the SDCC Light if that happens in November. I'm working on another figure, another little vinyl figure of my own.
Oh, nice. In addition to Hug, right? Was it
Yes,
Hug?
yes. Hug was the first
Yeah.
one. So this one, I'll just say that the name of it. The name of it's Cuttlefish.
Not fishball.
Nope, not fishball. Cuttlefish. Yeah, we're not going for the fishball. No. Yeah, when I show it, I'll probably start teasing it soon. But yeah, you'll see why it's called Cuttlefish. So yeah.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see that. So since you're a teacher, since if we have any aspiring artists out there, like what would be the one thing you'd want them, or what would be the best advice you can give them?
That's a loaded question. Do we have an hour? I'm just kidding.
Well, you have 30 minutes.
I think for that, there's so many things to consider. I think it's just kind of setting up goals. Like, what do you want to do with your art? If it's already decided that you want to be serious about it, then you do have to set goals. Like, who are artists that inspire you, and what are they doing? And I think by putting like a label on, oh, that's an illustrator. Oh, that's someone who designs video games. Oh, that's someone who works in visual effects or whatever. It helps to give you a little bit of direction. And it doesn't say that you have to do that the whole time. You could switch, definitely, but at least it gives you a start. Like, even if you just say, oh, I just like to draw, well, yeah, you could go into illustration, you can go to this and to that, then maybe you just need to at least just take some classes to get started with. Whatever it is, you need like to realize where that passion lies and have a little bit of practicality infused with that passion. Okay. Because I don't want people just to go, oh yeah, do what you're passionate about. It's like, I want to be an acting artist that plays rock bands and stuff. I'm like, what the hell? What are you talking about? No, you want to be practical in that if you're passionate about art, you're practical enough to know that, okay, I need to understand these fundamentals. I need to take these classes. And to do that, I need to save money or need to work to pay for those classes and things like that, because it just doesn't magically happen. Right. And that's something no one ever told me is like, yeah, there's art schools and things out there, but someone has to pay for those. And you want to make sure that you are in a place where you can get that education, whether it be at a 4-year institute or now there's so many different online schools and online programs. So it's going to be research. So if you're the parent and you're trying to cultivate that in your child, then help them learn how to research. Help them like, okay, well, here are some schools to look at. Let's look at them together, or let's see which ones, the teachers or their artwork that you like. And I think it's like you're not making a decision for them, but you're teaching them how to navigate that world, because they could just be stuck on YouTube looking at videos all day. And that's great. I know some people that learn like that, but it's also like that you're just going down that rabbit hole, and there's so many different opinions on YouTube. You're going to get lost, and you're just going to be probably doing and just copying whatever someone tells you to do without being informed. And so I think that's where, as a parent, you want to come in to let them know that you have options. Let's figure out what works best. Let's figure out like, okay, do we work in a structure? Do we work just taking a couple classes here and there? But let's kind of walk through that together. And then I think once they start to understand and learn those habits, the way to navigate that space, then they can go out there and say, oh yeah, I want to go to college, right? Oh no, I actually want to get an internship. Oh no, I need to find a mentorship that'll help me. And I think that's going to be a lot more useful than just randomly picking a school or just randomly looking at a bunch of videos because everyone's looking at this one artist or everyone's watching this one instructor because they say they're good. Like, well, what may be good for one person it can be different for you. So yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for that, Patrick.
Yeah.
So where can they find you, follow you and all that, and purchase all these awesome
Cool.
things?
Thank you for asking. You can find me on Instagram at Patrick Ballesteros. That's just my first and last name. My website is patrickballesteros.com, but my online shop is patrickballesterosart.com. And if you go to my Instagram, I have a link tree that links to all of those places. So you can just, if you're lazy, you can go, oh, what's that? Let me go to Instagram, and then you just click on everything there. Super easy.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time and for
No
sharing
problem.
your words of wisdom and your knowledge.
I don't know if they're wisdom, but they're words. So yeah, let's see what people say. Hopefully they're wisdom.
This is awesome. Thanks again, Patrick.
Oh
Thanks
yeah.
everyone for staying tuned.
Take care.